Okay, welcome back everyone, and now we are going to start making our pumpkin stems. So basically we're going to take one stem, and you can see how the rope has this curly effect, which looks more like a vine, because that's what the pumpkin stems are. They're just the dried vines. And I like to make sure that the edges are kind of ruffled up a little bit, because when we put those on top of the pumpkins, we want them to look like they're actually the vines that have been attached. So we're going to start with just one strand, and we're just going to put some glue in a couple of spots on there. There's nothing scientific or fancy about this at all. And then you don't want to put your exactly like it was to fit it back in, so you'll want to kind of just do something like this. And see, because this is the cool glue, I'm able to touch it, not burning my fingers, and this is going to be durable. You're not going to probably put these outside, but you could. I would suggest, if you're going to do that, make sure you do a stiffening, something like some glue or something over this, and let it sit for a few days before you actually put it outside. So now we've got this, and I think this is going to be we're going to let this be our edging. It's going to attach to the pumpkin, and this is the top. So now I'm going to come back and just kind of put the stem together, because you want it to be attached. These white glue spots, you'll be able to peel that off later. So we're going to leave the ends kind of like this, because I'm going to fray them a little bit more. And I may change my mind and switch it over once you start putting it together. But usually about 3 pieces of rope that are cut and separated will make a nice size. You may want to do it bigger, you may do it smaller. So now we're going to just come back and add a little bit more. I mean, this is super easy. And now we're starting to thicken up, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, I've decided this is going to be the edge that's going to attach to the pumpkin, and this is going to be my top, just because I'm liking the the thickness and the shape of this better. So now I'm going to just put this one in here, and the nice thing is, once you get the glue on here and it gets embedded in the threads, it's pretty secure, and it's not going to come loose even if it's not the hot glue. You can still burn yourself with the cool glue, but it's not probably going to blister like. So now I'm starting to get my stem, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 more, just to make it a little bit fatter, because you can squeeze it together and kind of shape it while the glue's still cool. And then we're just going to do these 2, because there's 2 more. And this is actually a pretty good size stem. And remember, we want these stems to kind of look like they've just been ripped right off the vine. So do 1 more, and just kind of squeeze that together. And if you need to add glue anywhere, you can. So this is going to be the part that's attached to the pumpkin. I'm going to, for now, leave this loose. I may attach it tighter in. So I'm just going to come back, and I'm going to kind of attach these a little bit more. Just give it a little bit more. Just stick some glue right down in there and just kind of squirt it in there. And then just kind of squeeze it together and give it its shape. If you wanted to make a stem that curves, you could cut your rope a little bit longer. You could actually use more rope at the bottom and taper it up so it's more thin and tapered. This is just something to play with. Now, one thing that if you want your rope to have, or your pumpkin to look a little rustic and look like it just came out of the dirt, then when you put your Mod Podge on there, or put a little Mod Podge on there, sprinkle some cinnamon. You can get just cheap cinnamon at Dollar Tree for $1, and just sprinkle your cinnamon on there, and then dust it or shake it a little bit to get it off, and it's going to look like dirt on your pumpkin. It also has the texture, but it smells nice because it smells like cinnamon. And also, but make sure you do that on your stem before you put it on your pumpkin, because I made the mistake of doing it after, and depending on the color of your pumpkin, it gets all over it. So once the glue is dried, you can just kind of, any places that you don't like, because you can see the hot glue, just scrape that off and shape it up. And here's our stem. Now later I'm going to show you how to attach this to the pumpkin, but now we're going to make a fat stem. So let's go to the next video.